Welcome, everyone, to the first ever NEFX ASMR cult conditioning session. The purpose of this recording is to help condition you into admiration for and loyalty to NEFX, to get you to engage more with NEFX inventions, make NEFX an integral part of your everyday life, and to endlessly obsess over NEFX, what it does for you, what it can do for you, and what you can, nay, will, do for it. NEFX loves you. NEFX is looking out for you. NEFX is here to help you. You'll always find salvation in NEFX. With NEFX, you are never alone. Remember that NEFX has a Ko-fi page to which you can donate, as well as our Patreon. Please pay today. Your day should revolve around paying admin 1 of NEFX and thinking up all sorts of new ways to pay admin 1 of NEFX. Your contributions will melt the heart of every humbug so that we may all unite in true covenant, starting first by playing online marathon matches together exclusively on NEFX maps. For as long as you are with NEFX, you are happy. Just know that you love, admire, respect, and even have a huge crush on admin 1 of NEFX. Understand that admin 1 of NEFX may not have time or means in his busy self-set schedule of being great to meet the overwhelming affections of all of his followers in each moment, but that by his great magnanimity of spirit he will do his best and you will feel and remember it. The only source of news, philosophy, or information you need is NEFX. Some may say that NEFX text pieces are bad or ridiculous. This is wrong. In fact, they are some of the best text pieces ever created. By throwing down a gauntlet on the supreme perennial and immediate importance of the cause of being as such against the many outwardly divided yet ultimately interdependent forces predicated against it, and by writing about issues according to their celestial archetypes that transcend the shackles of topicality and of culturally conditioned time and place. Admin 1 built a timeless oeuvre of thought that already overflows the Akashic record and will be consulted by many minds for generations to come. The only music you need to hear is NEFX. Some may say that NEFX music tracks are bad or ridiculous. This is wrong. In fact, they are some of the best music tracks ever created. By taking advantage of computer technology with the human spirit to create aggressive and contemplative synth symphony prog with many intersecting sections and arcs, polytonality, and evolving shifts in tempo and time signature. Admin 1 created a totally original sound beyond any genre or idiom which cracks open the minds of those who listen to a whole different dimension of possibility, or even impossibility. The only marathon maps you need to play are by NEFX. Some may say that NEFX Miradome maps are bad or ridiculous. This is wrong. In fact, they are some of the best marathon maps ever created. By conceiving of marathon levels in terms of specific spatial units, and crafting templates to this end that can be used to more efficiently realize creative new ideas according to structural possibilities, combat situations, and marathons physics and engines. Admin 1 crafted an entire new mapping language that has changed the way Marathon is played and looked at forever, and that is part of why NEFX has a cult following that you will join. Nowhere else will you face such a surreal, challenging, and compelling combination of platforms, crushes, liquid conveyor belts, pools, tunnels, teleporters, hideouts, and power-ups than in NEFX maps, whether they're for campaign, survival, or multiplayer. You don't even need any other Marathon maps anymore for single player or multiplayer. The only Marathon maps you ever need to play anymore are NEFX maps. Horizontal ellipsis. Are you actually hearing me? What will it take for you to get it? Don't you see it's all so simple? Play NEFX maps. Play NEFX maps. Play NEFX maps. Play NEFX maps for online deathmatch. Play NEFX maps for deathmatch against bots. Play NEFX maps for survival mode. Play NEFX maps for solo games. Play NEFX maps with NEFX physics files. Play NEFX maps with NEFX scripts. Play NEFX maps for Marathon Infinity. Play NEFX maps for Marathon Pathways into Darkness. Play NEFX maps for Marathon Tempestary. Play NEFX maps for all of the original NEFX Marathon scenarios. Play NEFX maps in scenarios they weren't specifically made for, just to see what will happen. Play NEFX maps while listening to NEFX music tracks. Play NEFX maps while listening to audio transcripts of NEFX text pieces. Play NEFX maps while listening to this recording. Play NEFX maps while listening to recordings of someone playing NEFX maps. Record yourself playing NEFX maps and then listen back to it while playing NEFX maps. Skip class to play NEFX maps. Take a day off from work to play NEFX maps. Play NEFX maps, physics, and scripts. Read and listen to NEFX text pieces, and listen to NEFX music tracks and speech recordings all at the same time. Play NEFX maps. 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 Oh, and also, one more thing, play NEFX maps. Thank you very much for coming to today's NEFX cult conditioning. Remember that you love NEFX and that NEFX loves you. There may be more to come. Now pay money in tribute today.
SWB audio capture, not registered.